A warm good morning to my dear darling students of Sri Gokulam Public School. This is Nida ma'am with you and I welcome you all to my English online class. In today's class, we will be starting with a new poem from your textbook, Hornbill textbook. The name of the poem is The Photograph. It is written by an British poet, Shirley Tolson, and she has written a number of poems. She is well known for her symbol language and very heart-touching poems and other writings. Now, what this poem is about, the central idea of the poem is definitely speaking of memories. Okay, now memories are something that we hold very, very dear to our heart and something which is like a fuel for our body. We keep thinking about the good, the bad, and the wonderful days we have in our past. And those memories are something which helps us to move forward in our life. We learn from our experiences. They mold us, they shape us. So memories are something which are very, very dear to us. So here also the poet is speaking about and sharing the memories that she have with her past mother. Okay, her mother has passed away and she holds some wonderful memories with her mother. So that is what she is sharing over here. In the poem also you can understand that there is a point where while she is remembering about her mother is also remembering about her childhood. Childhood is another part of our life which is very, very dear to us, and we always consider that the childhood days are for most of us the most happiest days in our life, being such that it was the days of bliss and innocence. As we grow older, we understand the hardships and the struggles in life, and thereby our childhood means much more important to us because of that innocence and that simpleness in that childhood that we have. So that is what the poem is about in general. Now let us go to the stanza by stanza explanation. The first stanza has the lines, "The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so." So here it is about a photograph. Okay, her mother is looking at a photograph when she was a young girl. Okay, she was about 12 years old, and she is looking at a photograph of her childhood when she was old, and the photograph shows two of her girl cousins holding her hand and standing. So both of them are standing on the either side of her, and she also says that both the girls were younger than her. Okay, so her mother was the eldest among the three girls who were standing, and she was looking at that photograph. Cardboard here means a frame. Okay, a frame or a place where the photograph was placed. Two girl cousins went paddling. So paddling, definitely it shows a water area. Probably they are in a beach side or a river side, so they are near a water body. Two girl cousins. Okay, there are two girl cousins with her mother. Each one of them is holding mother's hands. So on the either side they are standing, and she, the big girl, she is the eldest amongst them, and she is 12 years old. So that is the photograph which her mother is looking at, and probably she is feeling happy about it. Okay, then this photograph has been maintained very carefully by her mother because it is the memories of her mother's childhood, and probably this was one of the days that she might have enjoyed very much with her cousins. You know, she might have played and enjoyed very much with her cousins. The next stanza, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. So here again the explanation of the photograph is given further. She tells that all the three girls were standing there. They were looking at the camera. A photograph was being clicked by their uncle. They are at the beach side. It says sea over there, so it means that they were near the beach side. It was a very windy weather. So in that photograph we can see that their hair is flying in the air, so it definitely it means that it was a very windy weather, and they were all smiling. They were having smiling faces, so they were very extremely happy. And the expression on the faces of the poet's mother and her cousins were that of happiness and enjoyment. She also tells that her mother was looking very pretty at that time. Okay, it was very pretty. It was a time that before she was born. And the last two lines, it is a very important two lines. It can be asked for explanation, especially the words terribly transient feat. What does it mean? It can be asked for a 2-mark question, a 1-mark question, even as an MCQ question, the last two lines. So you have to very much understand that. Please mark that line and note down the important explanation of that line. It says that from that time, okay, from the age that her mother was 12 years old to the present situation where her mother is looking at the photograph, probably in her 40s. Okay, so over a span of time, everything has changed in her mother's life. Okay, everything has changed in her mother's life, and but the sea at which she was standing, on the beach side, the water where she was having her feet dug in, that water, that sea has not changed. Now, what is the meaning of this? This simply points to the very relevant truth of the nature, that forces of nature, that is the mountains, the seas, the sand, the mud, everything. The forces of nature is eternal. It does not die. Whereas the living beings on nature, they are not eternal. They are mortal. Okay, so what are those two words? Immortal and mortal. What do you mean by immortal? Immortal means which does not die, which is forever. So the sea is forever, whereas her mother is not forever. Her mother and all other living things on nature goes through the process of life and death. So that is what it explains over here. It is explaining that temporary time that we have on earth. Okay, so it is temporary. It is only lasting for a very short time. Transient means temporary. The sea has appeared to have changed less. Okay, there is hardly any changes in the sea, because sea is eternal, sea is immortal, sea is permanent, sea is forever. Whereas that very immortal sea was washing the feet of her mother. Her mother is a mortal being. She is for temporary, and she does not live forever. So that explains that two lines, very important line. It beautifully explains to us how very little time we have got on earth, and how beautifully we are supposed to live those moments that we have on earth. So the other two stanzas we will explain in the next class. So with this, I'm concluding today's class. We will meet again in the next class for the explanation of this poem, and your notes are uploaded. Please download it and learn, and attempt your test paper also. So till we meet again, thank you and have a wonderful day.